Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ansley and I'm an American girl who lives in Norway. Now, usually my channel is about travel and living in Scandinavia, but today I thought I'd do something a little different and react to the TV show SKAM, which for context is basically Norway's version of Euphoria before Euphoria was a thing. Now, I've already reacted to part 1 of season 1 on my channel, so if you haven't checked that out yet, you should definitely do so that you're not completely lost with what's going on in this part 2 episode. But if you're not interested in going all the way back and checking out all of part 1, then here is a brief recap of what you missed last time. So in part 1 of season 1, we follow our main character Eva and her boyfriend Jonas throughout their first year of high school. During the first half of the season, we find out that Eva has this ex-best friend Ingrid from middle school who's being very hostile towards her, has some trust issues with her boyfriend Jonas, which eventually culminate in her cheating on him by kissing a senior boy, Christopher, at a party. While this is all going on, we also meet some of Eva's new friend group, which consists of Nora, Vilda, Chris, and Sana, a bunch of other first-year high school students who have all decided to come together and be friends to start planning for their senior year of high school, where they plan to participate in the Norwegian Rus, which is this big party bus culture and just partying culture for their senior year. But anyway, that is a brief recap of what happens in the first 6 episodes of SKAM, so without further ado, let's get into the second half of season 1. Okay, in the next episode back, we actually tend to focus more on Vilda and Eva. Vilda is still getting over her heartbreak that happened after she hooked up with the most popular boy in school, William, and he ghosted her. With a bit of help from her friends, Vilda decides to get back at him by confronting him at school, and they end up having this exchange.
Jeg vil bare si at hvis du tror at jeg kommer til å gå rundt som et slags levende trofé, så tar du skikkelig feil.
Men hvis du tror jeg ser på deg som et slags trofé, så tar du feil. For er du ikke fin nok til.
Jeg blir bare utrolig nysgjerrig på hva som kan ha skjedd med deg, som gjør at du har så store mindreverdighetskomplekser at det å pisse på følelsene til en liten uskyldig førstesjente får lære til å føle deg stor og kul.
I think it might have backfired a little bit though, because after they have this little exchange in the courtyard, William seems to be, let's say, enamored by Nora and ends up flirting with her in school from here on out.
Skal du bli med hjem til meg og gjøre lekser?
Ja, men da velger jeg å kalle deg drittsekk.
And of course, Nora's definitely not having it. I mean, he hooked up with one of her best friends and also broke her heart. Eva, on the other hand, who we're following throughout this episode, is just ravaged by guilt. She feels terrible for having kissed the senior boy Christopher at the party previously, and she doesn't know what to do, and she can't really tell anyone in her life. The guilt ends up getting so bad that she decides to confide in one of her and Jonas's mutual friends, Isaac, about the whole situation and asks for his advice.
Hvis jeg sier alt til deg, så må du love at du ikke sier noe til Jonas.
Ok, jeg lover.
Jeg hooket med Chris.
Hvis jeg hadde hatt dame da, og hun hadde hooka med noen andre, så ville ikke jeg hatt lyst til å vite det.
So she decides to follow Isaac's advice and keeps the whole thing a secret, which goes okay, except for one problem. The secret that they kissed leaks at school, and turns out Christopher has kind of a psycho girlfriend.
Chris hooket med noen på Halloweenfesten, og dama hans fant ut, og hun klikket og ble helt psyko.
After this shabacle in the courtyard, Eva's boyfriend isn't speaking to her and they're basically over. On top of all that, the whole school has also blacklisted her as being a cheater, which seems very overdramatic, but I mean, she is getting hate mail, blackmail, and getting physically assaulted at school, so that's not the hardest thing to believe for this show. Now, because of all of this and being blacklisted, anyone who associates with her is also being threatened to be blacklisted, which leads to this confrontation in the friend group, and one of the biggest reveals of the entire show.
Og Drad-bussen har svartlistet henne. Og de sier at så lenge Eva er på bussen vår, så er alle svartlistet. Det er faktisk ikke første gangen Eva ødelegger et forhold. Eva pleide å være bestevenn med Ingrid, og i 9. fikk Ingrid en kjæreste. Men rett før sommeren, i 10. så begynte han å oppføre seg rart. Han var avvisende og svarte på tekstmeldingene.
Ikke sant, Eva?
Og Ingrid ble selvfølgelig kjempelei seg. Eva holdt med han bak ryggen på Ingrid. Jonas og Ingrid pleide å være kjærester.
This isn't even the first time Eva has been involved in a cheating scandal at school. It's revealed during this confrontation that when Eva and Ingrid were best friends in middle school, Ingrid was actually the person who was originally dating Jonas. And during middle school, Eva and Jonas were cheating with each other, and Eva eventually ended up stealing Jonas away from Ingrid, ruining their relationship and destroying their friendship. This explains why Eva, upon entering high school, only has Jonas and no other friends, and also explains why Ingrid is constantly being hostile towards her from day one of entering high school. Now with all of these secrets all out in the open, Eva is left back where she started. She has no friends, no one to rely on, and now not even her boyfriend Jonas. Things get so bad that Eva even starts looking into switching schools to get away from everything. But after a quick talk from her friend Isaac, she decides that it might be cowardly to just run away and pretend like none of this ever happened, and instead decides to confront the popular girls who allegedly sent the hate mail to her.
Du kan hilse vennene dine og si at vi ikke skal ta dem på noe vis. Vi har litt viktigere ting å gjøre enn å drive og svarteliste førsteklassinger.
Ok, hva med brevet da?
Vi har ikke gitt deg noe brev. Det er noe som fucker med deg.
Now, this is when things start to turn around for Eva. After she confronts the popular girl group, she finds out that they never actually sent her the hate letter or threat letter, and they don't even care that she hooked up with Christopher at the party. So whoever sent her the letter was just trying to mess with her. Eva also decides that it's about time that she confront Ingrid about their hostilities toward each other and make amends. And that's when we get this interaction between the two of them.
Så jeg sier det for siste gang. Unnskyld for at jeg løy til deg og gikk bak ryggen din. Unnskyld for at jeg ødelagte vennskapet vårt.
Eva eventually finds out that the person who sent the hate letter was the girlfriend of Christopher, who, as we've already come to realize, is a little psycho. But they even make amends themselves, and the girlfriend decides to break up with her boyfriend, who, at this point, we know is a massive cheater.
Du er sammen med skolens største douche. Han driver og legger an på alle, og din måte å takle det på er å fly på folk og banke de opp, sende trusselbrev. Bedre forslag til deg. Og det er at du slår opp med han fuckings kjæresten, en jævla drittsekk.
But even after getting to the bottom of who sent the threat letter and making amends with her arch nemesis Ingrid, there's still the mystery of who leaked the information about her having kissed Christopher in the first place. And that's when we find out the truth about who actually leaked her secret.
Det var jo kjæresten din som tipset om det. Men kjæresten min visste jo det ikke engang. Isak Jaki? Er ikke det kjæresten din? Har Isak tipset om det?
The person who told the whole school that she had cheated, the person who had ruined all of her friendships, relationship, and almost destroyed her whole social life was none other than the only person she had confided in, Isaac. Eva is so pissed off. I mean, this man single-handedly sabotaged her entire life, so of course she has to go and confront him. And that's when we get another juicy reveal.
Det er bare en ting jeg lurer på. Da du outet til nissen nok at meg og Chris hadde hooket. Prøv å forklare meg hva du tenkte. For jeg tenker du har blitt et psyko, liksom.
Eva,
Hvorfor gjorde du det?
du skjønner virkelig ikke hvorfor?
Har du liksom følelser for meg?
Som du ikke visste det. Jeg sitter der som en jævla idiot. Og bare håper på at du en dag skjønner at han ikke bra nok for deg.
Apparently, Isaac revealed that she had cheated to purposely break up her and Jonas because apparently he's been in love with Eva the entire time. But not only did he leak this information, he's been placing the seeds of doubt into Eva's head since episode 1 of this entire show. Lying to her about Jonas texting Ingrid, placing seeds of doubt about them cheating on her together. He's been a real mastermind from the beginning. Now with all of this going on, there's also some background drama happening with the friend group, specifically Vilda. Now if you remember, Vilda had hooked up with the most popular boy in school, but was heartbroken by him after he ghosted her. Of course, things don't end there because we come to find out that Vilda thinks she might be pregnant with Mr. Popular's baby.
Milla, er du gravid?
Ja.
So the girl group goes to the nurse to figure out what's actually going on.
Altså, jenter, det her en eggløsningstest. Og det vil si at hvis ikke du har hatt sex siden du tok denne testen sist, så sannsynligheten for at du gravid svært liten.
Even after all of that happened, Mr. Popular, William, is still non-stop flirting with Nora, who definitely can't be with him now after everything he put her friend Vilda through.
Du, nå må du gi opp.
Gi opp? Du er en smart dame, og du må skjønne at for hver gang du avviser meg, så vil jeg bare ha deg mer og mer.
So after this bit of mid-season drama, we go back to Eva, who has decided that she needs to do some self-discovery and have some time alone away from all the relationship drama between Ingrid and Jonas before she can be in a healthy relationship moving forward. It's a little bittersweet, but in the end, I think it's the mature decision for Eva to make to find herself and spend some time figuring out who she is on her own. But because this is Scam, we can't end season 1 without a last little bit of juicy drama. At the end of season 1, we've only got a couple minutes left in the entire season. We're still thinking that the reason why Isaac outed Eva to to the whole school about the cheating scandal is because he's been in love with her this entire time. Of course, they can't be together because things are now soured between them, given all of the lying and manipulating that went on. But seemingly out of nowhere, in the last like 30 seconds of season 1, we find out that that might not actually be the reason why he sabotaged Eva and Jonas's relationship.
Du fortalte meg at du syntes det var litt rart når Isak sa at han har følelser for deg. Kanskje ikke at det er deg han har følelser for, da.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
That's right, Isaac is canonically gay, and now we're thinking he sabotaged their relationship not because he's in love with Eva, but because he's in love with his best friend, Jonas. And with that, we conclude season 1 of SKAM. Okay, wow. So this was just a tiny taste of what SKAM has to offer. And I mean, there is just so much to unpack here, I don't even know where to start. Now, the drama is obviously addicting. I mean, that's the major appeal of the show and why I think it reached such heights in its popularity when it was running. And it's really obvious to see how many shows were inspired by SKAM, and I think Euphoria is obviously one of them, just given how much these shows play into the over-dramatization of these high schoolers' lives. And boy, is it juicy. I mean, I think we should actually go take a look at the relationship board just to break down what really happened in the second half of season 1. All right, welcome back to the Relationship SKAM Conspiracy Board. This is where we left off in the last episode in part 1. So if you're confused about how we got to this point, then I recommend checking that out. Where we left off was Eva and Jonas were still together, Eben and Christopher were still together, Vilde and William were in a situationship, and Christopher and Eva had kissed. Now, to recap what happened since the midway point in season 1, Eva and Christopher kiss, Jonas finds out, and that relationship is now severed. We also had the situationship between Vilde and William, and that is also severed after he ghosted her, essentially. We also then find out the background between Ingrid, Jonas, and Eva, and apparently Ingrid was in a relationship with Jonas, but Eva broke them up, severed ties there as well. We eventually find this all out through Eva's confrontations of various people. She ends up having a talk with Eben, and then they also break up with Christopher. Another thing we have going on is William and Nora, because we're starting to realize that William is really into her. There might be a little something there going into season 2, but considering Vilde and William's severed ties, we're not sure how that's going to work out for them. Lastly, biggest reveal, of course, we find out that Isaac was the one who revealed that Eva had kissed Christopher and broke up her and Jonas. Now, originally what we think is that Isaac is actually having feelings for Eva, but then it is actually revealed in the last episode of season 1 that Isaac is gay and actually has feelings for Jonas. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we're leaving off season 1 of SKAM, but a lot of conflicts of interest going on here and a lot of drama to be had going into season 2. So that essentially sums up where we leave off the relationships from SKAM from season 1. So yeah, now I think that kind of sums up all the relationships that were ongoing, and wow, I cannot wait to get into season 2 and see what happens next. But anyway, thank you so much for watching my review of season 1 of SKAM. It was a lot of fun making this video. I usually don't do this kind of content, but if you liked it, I would be very willing to review the rest of the show. I think it's really fun to get to share some of these cultural phenomenon TV shows inside of Norway that don't necessarily have this bigger audience to the rest of the world. And given that it's the 10-year anniversary of SKAM being released, I think it's a perfect time to revisit the show and revisit how Norwegian high school culture is in general. So if you would like me to cover the rest of the TV show of SKAM and break down how realistic I think it is, leave a comment down below. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in next week's video. Bye guys!